true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Monday night, Medium Project Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Trying to make sure everything's set up all right. It's running a little bit behind, but everything looks like it's, well, kind of going well. We'll see how it continues. But we're going to be working on a another wall hanging. I'm making another starburst. I've done one before. Not quite as big. This one's a 14 inch, I think. Yeah, 14 inch ring. Before it was a 12 inch, so a little bit. Let's see here. Is the camera? Probably going to pull back a little bit on that one. Alright, so, but I hope everybody had a good weekend. Safe weekend. We're going to go ahead and kind of get started on this. I already wrapped my ring. Let's go ahead and get our camera moved here. So right now I'm just adding on my connector rings. I'm going to put like a Japanese style rings around here, make it all silver. I wrapped my ring in a black ribbon. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where'd it go? There it is. Duh. Too many scenes. So that's what I'm just going to work on right now, is just adding these rings on here. And we'll do a little bit of this, and I might start a little bit on the sun, depending on where we're at, time-wise, and all that. Oops. Hopefully I'll catch any messages. These are always a little bit of a pain to get on there. I would to go ahead and attach the other rings onto them already, but there's less room to work with, and it's easier to mess up rings. So I just find it easier to put these on, then come in and do the others. I don't know how many we'll do right now, but we'll put on some, then we'll kind of start getting it so you can kind of get the idea of the look of what it's going to look like. But, like I was saying, hope everybody had a good weekend. I did spend quite a bit of time this weekend watching some football, though. You know, I normally always watch my Chiefs, but regular season, there might be a game or two here and there that I'll catch, but most of the time it's just Chiefs game. Playoffs, though, I do like to watch most of the playoffs, so I spent some time Saturday and Sunday watching games. All good games. Even if the Chiefs lost, it was a crazy game. But glad they won. So I did get some more work done on the Chiefs end zone inlay. Should be done with the E for sure by the time we come back to it Thursday night. Hoping to be a little further along than that. We'll see how it goes. I did spend a little time today prepping this. Actually did last night try to move my cameras around. I was wanting to try a different camera from my main front camera here that looks at me. When I hooked it up that way, nothing was working right, so I just threw it back the way it was, because I was like, I know it's working at least decently that way. It's not quite enough. All these are, I'm going to do this whole thing in square ring square wire ring. Thought about using different color on the outside, but I kind of like the silver, as we're going to use the golds, oranges, yellows on the inside for the starburst itself. Kind of thinking maybe put it right in here as the main, and then have the spires off the sun coming up that it will attach to these. Kind of how I did the last one. Do I have a picture of that? Did I put it on there? Let me transition over to it real quick. This is the last one I did. It was all a Japanese pattern weave, and I used a center 4-inch ring as the center for it. This one I'm not going to use any kind of main built ring like that, and I'm going to do it in a European style weave, 4-in-1 basically with expansions. So that's what we're going to do with this one. So it's going to be similar but different. I want to make sure it's different. The last one, I should have, can't remember, started, was it Jeff? No. That picture that I just showed was actually sold that item. It's over in England to a gentleman over there. He wanted it, and we shipped it out to him. So that's the I was figuring it up. I can't even remember. I think I'm at 12, maybe even up to 14 different countries now that have had people see my stuff and want it and order it. So I know Australia, there's Germany, England, Spain, obviously Canada, Mexico. Those are fairly close, so. And several Canadas. But yeah, I can't even remember them all. There's a couple smaller countries. Kind of weird when you're part of a chainmail community and people see your stuff and find you and all that. It's kind of surreal in a way. Well, like I said, I don't know how many we're going to put on in this yet. We're just going to kind of, I know it's going to take quite a few to get around this whole thing this way. I don't want to get on a good chunk, then we'll connect them up and give me a better idea about how many more I need to go. But then, like I said, we might put it off to the side and go ahead and start working on some of the center of the starburst later in the stream, just to, kind of shows a little something different. Now, I do plan on not working on this outside of the stream. I did wrap my thing, but that's a half-hour, 45-minute job, and some might consider this boring, but even more boring, as it'd be hard to keep it in camera because I'm swinging in it and all that in different directions as I'm trying to wrap around it. I was looking at the date when I had to put up the thing today, and I was like, man, this month has actually been flying by, even though it's been one of those months that I'd rather just forget. Get a hold of it. Hopefully everything's in the camera view here. Don't want to open them up too far, but I don't want to overdo it because I'm opening them pretty large for. These are 3/16 inch rings, so I don't want to open them too far, especially being square. Make it a little more difficult, but it makes it nice and tight and not flopping around when you're done. And I think on the other one I was using a bigger center ring, so I had to use, I believe it was 1/4 inch as my connector rings here. This wire is a little bit thinner for the ring. which I think will help it out. The last one I didn't wrap my outer ring either. This time I did. I don't know. I probably didn't need to, but sometimes I just like to wrap them. Thought about doing an orange and a red type of wrap, but then I was like, well, that's going to be, I want that to kind of radiate out from the center. And I almost thought about doing all these black, and I was still considering it up till stream time. And I was like, well, we'll just go with the silver. One, because I knew I had enough. I wasn't sure if I would have had enough of the black, so I do have backup of it, but not much in square. So I always have a lot of the silver, so we go with it. Let's see here. Might do about 5 more, and then we'll start connecting these up and see what's going to happen. Where are we at time-wise? Only 10 minutes in, so yeah. Just see, and then maybe we continue on with it. I want to give it at least a good 30 minutes of work here and on this part and see where we can get to on it. And I'm wearing my old Chiefs hat. I've had this thing for probably 10, 12 years now. I bought it and it's like, this is the last one I'm buying until the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then we finally won one 2 years ago, and I actually since then have now gotten, I have my championship World Series Super Bowl Chiefs win hat, and that's what I was wearing most of this all last season. I wore it. It was my new Sunday hat. And made it Super Bowl, but then we lost, and I was wearing it at the beginning of this season. I was like, all right, we're gonna have to start wearing the oldie. I mean, I wear this hat often anyway. It's my normal around the house hat. Everybody wants me to get rid of it because it's so ugly looking, but it's what I had to pull out when we got into this season. And we're doing cruddy. I started wearing this one again, and we kind of turned around. So it's my lucky hat now. Especially after last night's game. I don't know if you're into football, but man, crazy, crazy game. I think that's why afterwards I had to go lay down. I went to sleep for about 3 hours after the game. It was like, I keep forgetting to check around. Okay. Alright, one more and then we'll start connecting some of these up. What I forgot to do was no, that's not what I want to do. You working? There we go. That was weird. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but there it is. Hopefully it's coming through. Hopefully not too loud. Alright, I'm going to pre-close a few of these up because this is what we'll actually connect the bigger rings together with. I'm going to use bigger 3/8 inch square wired rings. That's my main connectors, and they basically just go through one of each of those, and then these will connect 2 of those, 2 of the largers. And hopefully I can do it down flat so I'm in the picture. I know the last time normally when I'm working on these, sometimes I'm standing these up on the edge and all that. So let's see here. Did I close them all? One more. You know what, this more. That drawer just keeps popping out on me. Alrighty, so next. I'll be coming through and doing this. Now, I do want to throw on 2 of these though. Maybe I should leave those off. Do my connecting, because these are going to be not super tight, but pretty taut. Now we'll see what happens on this first one, I guess. See how it's kind of wanting to hold its shape there a little bit. And once you start pulling on it from the center, it'll pull it down and away from that where it'll be a little looser, but for the purposes of getting it through there, that's going to be kind of a pain, I think, to try to get through both of those. And if I stop moving around on there, there we go. I mean, it's going to be doable, but kind of a pain in the butt. Well, so yeah, we'll just come through and connect them afterwards after we single them up, because I think that's just going to make it more difficult than it needs to be. They're a little bit larger, had a little more play in them. Probably could have done it that way, but this way it'll be just fine. We need some more of those, so we'll just get those dumped out. Oh, I got a message pop up here. Giveaway message. Oh, it looks like a granddaughter video has come into my account. Alrighty. It seems easier just to do it by hand. I can feel it a little bit better that way. So like I said, it's a little snuggy. I guess maybe if I would have had like 7/32 square, maybe. Don't want to go up to 1/4 inch because that would have just been way too floppy looking, I think. So I think this is going to work. We'll just have to do some maneuvering to it. They go through pretty easily, but they do, they're a little snuggy. And if I didn't wrap it, it probably wouldn't have been as snug either. Well, I know it wouldn't have been, obviously. Alright, so, and then I'll just come through. Now I have to find my closures. At least I didn't pre-close a whole lot of these, I suppose. Be easier to do it this way for sure. And then once we start getting further out, we'll be able to a little bit tighter than I'd probably like, but I think it'll be fine. Better to be tight anyway, since everything will kind of loosen up once you pull it towards the center. And this is how we're basically going to be doing the whole outside. We're just going to line the inside of the ring with the Japanese 2-in-1, I guess, pretty much. So we'll just continue working on a little bit here. We're 20 minutes in, so see if we can get done in the next 20-30 minutes, or 10-15 minutes maybe. 20 minutes, yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, I just need to put my eye on my pliers for this. It seems like I can get a better hold. No, it's going to make me, there it goes. Now you don't want to fit through there when I just say it's easier to do you this way. Slide them up as we go. Try to keep them close together. We'll probably stop every once in a while and connect them so they don't get too unruly. In a way, this is a little more. When I did the other one, I do remember when I was doing this on the other one, they were so loose they would spin around real easy, so I get a lot of twists. But it was kind of cool, and I thought about doing that to another one. Is putting them on there where, you know, you just start twisting this around so they're kind of out. But then it's a matter of getting it hanging just right so it's not, you know, poking out from the wall and being uneven and all that. So, but it was kind of cool looking. Won't be able to show it on this one. I mean, I could, but it'd be a lot more difficult to twist it that way where I need it. Let's go ahead and get some of these on over here, ready to go. But at the end of doing this is going to be the part of trying to pull it tight all the way around to get that last ring in. Well, that's always going to be the pain. Because I put it together before and I thought it was right, and once I picked it up and everything jostled around a little bit, ended up being way too loose, so I had to come back through. And so there might be an odd sized ring at some point when we get down towards the end, just as, you know, everything gets pulled apart and tightened. So that's how that'll be. We'll go ahead and just open up a few of these. Maybe I can put a few through and close them all up at the same time. Quicker than picking up, putting down the pliers per ring. Yeah, it's pretty closed. Let's leave it closed. Yeah, let's see if we can just get a few through and then just come through and close those all up. Might be a little quicker. Because they kind of want to stay in their place anyway, as is. Well, I got quite a few of these little ones on here already. The more I'm looking at, I've only used up, you know, 8, 9. Some are definitely a little tighter than others. Part of it is also where you put it on the ring. Some portion of the ribbon's a little thicker when it's overlapped and whatnot, so. Still think that was a little bit quicker than doing the individuals like we were. And just come through and kind of start closing them up. Closing up square rings are always kind of a bugger. Because you always lose that material in the cut. And then as they curl, your two edges won't quite line up exactly right. You can tweak the ring a little bit, and that's what I try to do. Causes it doesn't really six the ring, but or Pringle the ring. But in a way, I mean, technically it is, but it's nothing noticeable. But it helps get that cleaner close up on these square rings. Slide them on over. And we can connect them. Well, groups of 5 might work pretty well here. And I can pull them and stretch them afterwards. They don't need to be perfect right now anyway till I get further along, but then it'll take longer to adjust them all down each time. I left one up here. Get down there with your buddies. Okay, it looks like that cleared up. Hopefully I'm not having any glitches. I'm not noticing any on my end, but that doesn't mean there's not glitches happening. And pretty much an uneventful weekend for the most part. Just watched some football, did some chain mailing, which is actually pretty nice to kind of get back to. Being that I actually didn't do any for, I think it was about 14 days, and I don't think it's ever been that long, and for as long as I can kind of remember. I mean, back when it was not a business, probably, so. Yeah, I guess we did have that one period where we were redoing the other half of the basement. I guess then I probably had a little bit of period, but I still don't think it was quite as long as this last time. Don't give me such a problem there, Ring. Alright, so eventually we'll have to kind of stretch all these out one by one by one. So, yeah, we've already got a nice little chunk there. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Barely even 12, so I at least got half of them on here by now. Let's go back to doing it this way. Working out pretty good. It was a little chillier-ish this weekend, but finally got all the snow finally all melted off, so that's nice. Today we got up to almost 50. Cloudy, but 50. Windy. Next few days all look dry for the next 5. Mid-30s, you know, so about average, so can't really complain there. That's probably enough. I wasn't even counting them. I was just opening away. As I try to move them up, it wants to uncoil or come out. Gotta put it further away before I start. Yeah, let's twist it up. That's kind of funny. My little tire, I guess, just rolling as I move. I guess I should try to get up there closer before I put it on. That'd probably help. Come on. Sometimes it'll pop right on through, other times It's like, nope, not today. You must wait your turn. Just want one of you. What must be? I got a few. I'm assuming spams on the YouTube side, but maybe not. I don't know what any of those things mean when they post them, so they're not links, I don't think, so. Message. Come on. Wish there was a way when I was in the business account it wouldn't pop me up messages from my personal account. Not that I don't want to get them, but they pop over my normal box, so then I miss messages. Alright. Close these little boogers up. That's one thing you gotta be careful on with these square rings too. I make jewelry out of them, like bracelets and stuff, but gotta be real good closures if you want it to be on a bracelet. Just because they can have a little bit of an edge on them. If I'm doing stainless steel or something, if I weld them up, that goes away, so I don't have a problem on that. But aluminum wise, that's why I like using them more for wall hangings. I did use it for my Chiefs jersey. But like I said, I've gotten pretty good with closers on finding that happy medium for square wire. So alright, spin around. And you need to get up out of there. I don't want to connect you two together. Yeah, maybe I put on a little too many that time. Probably worked out pretty well. I don't know how many this was, but I seem to be getting more in the way of things while I'm trying to do other things. Alrighty. Right now we're at a half an hour in, so let's go ahead and get these connected up. We're going to go for a little over an hour. I don't know if we'll do the whole hour and a half tonight. Just because part of the the other thing was working on the laser stuff this week. A lot of testing Friday. And I'm still nowhere near where I need to be on a few things. So I really need to start spending a little bit of quality time over there just to learn this new stuff. And then once I learn it, it'll be no problem. It'll be easy. But it's like everything, learn a new animal every time. I mean, what do you like? What do you don't like? All that good stuff. I'll put back over there. Keep them to stand up on themselves. Guess they'd make good little feet. And since Tuesday is my other normal laser days, Tuesdays and Fridays are normally laser days. If I got laser work to do, I'll put them on those 2 days. Have a little break here on a Monday to do some chain mail. And then the weekend's kind of up for grabs, whatever it needs to be done, mostly. And if it's laser work, if it's chain mail. This last week it was more football and a little chain mail. Now, I guess I did do some laser stuff Saturday too. Yeah, getting there. I'm gonna use up a good chunk of ringage on this border. Not so close. I don't know, I'm still debating. Should I just continue to work on this whole border tonight and then worry about working on getting onto the center part next week? Either way, I mean, I guess it's all going to be streamed since I'm not going to really work on this one too much off stream. That's what the meeting project was, so it'd take a little bit of time to do, and it'd just all be done on the stream. Large project nights, kind of what I work on. Will be working on most of the time outside of the stream, if it's not for orders and all that. So. Yep, I need to spend some time on a new embroider. Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, you probably weren't here for the beginning, but I'm working on another one of the, like a Starburst one that I sold. The one that shipped to England. Slightly different. The other one was like this all the way throughout it. This one's going to be more of a European weave. Alright, come on, let's go apart there. You better judge how much more I need. Ooh, let me stand up a minute here. Try to get these spread out a little bit better. So this is what I'll normally end up doing when I'm working on it. Alright, so we'll just go doing some more. Definitely not halfway. I don't know if we can, if I got enough rings on here for halfway, but I'll definitely have to add on some more. I figured I would anyway, but I thought I was going to have to actually use a lot more, so that's good. A little less than what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I'm going to be another Starburst, but instead of a Japanese weave, I'm going to be using the European weave. And not using a main center ring for the star, the sun spot itself. I'm going to just let it go all. Just worn one to hold its shape and pull it out with the spires of the sun. I put up a picture of it earlier. You know, it's still right there and transitioned over to it. I mean, you remember that one. Kind of similar, but like I said, it'll be a little more dense, less see-through because of it being a European weave. And this ring's 2 inches bigger all the way around, so it's a bigger, it'll overall be a little bit bigger too. So that's what the plan is. We'll see how the plan goes as we continue to grow. You can see my other stab wound there. And it's starting to finally heal up. I jabbed myself yesterday loading the stupid dishwasher, but I didn't go hard enough and fast enough where I actually stabbed myself. It was more just like a puncture. Well, not even a puncture. It was more just an indentation. I don't know why it's been so dangerous to me lately. What is your problem? Get through there. I'm gonna go sideways on there, guys. Jeez. That one was a pain. I'm probably not in my other camera view, am I? Working on the other side of this thing. Don't have an easy way to tilt that up. I need to make this camera a little more agile. easier manipulation. See, I'm spinning back through them again. It's alright to spin when it's closed up. So let's see here, we're at 8:10. 20 more minutes would give us an hour. So I don't know how much more over the hour will go. We'll just kind of play that by ear. But yeah, I think I'm just going to continue to work on this border instead of getting into it. I got all my rings out to start the center of the sun. And I think I'd rather just go ahead and get this done and have it over and ready. I think that's what I want to do. However long it's going to take, yeah, I mean, it's going to be on the stream anyway, so. Wherever it's going to be built during the stream. Today or next Monday. I guess it'll be a little boring. Well, just doing the center is going to be a little boring in itself, too. That's why I thought about mixing it up. I don't know. If you're watching an hour later, you have to let me know. Would you rather see little chunklets of something on these projects or just work it how I would normally work it? Because normally I would just work around this whole outside before I start the inner, but I was trying to think for stream purposes, do I want it to just be the same thing throughout the whole stream or not? Yeah, I still got some more work to do on straightening up the other storage room area and everything. I kind of put it off now that I got my work area back together, I admit. It's like I know I need to do it. Should just go over and do it, but it's like, oh, I've got my part done. I mean, all of it's my part, but I can get back to doing my streaming and chainmail. That was where I was wanting to get to. You guys a little too close together. Yeah, this is our next holiday that's coming up. I guess Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. That's one I always got to think about. She's still on here listening to me, so I guess I shouldn't talk too much. We haven't been able to plan to do anything in quite a few years, though, but it is what it is. It's all good. Guess I need to make you another bracelet. Necklace. Yeah, what? You had a bracelet, you had a necklace, I can make you a keychain. I can give you a pile of rings and have you make your own. You want a moon, you want that purple moon. I want to show it off though. That's what I hate about doing some of these things for the family. It's like I want to be able to take it and show it off. That's what I did for a while with the daughter's treble clef. We'd go to an event, you know. When I first did it, I didn't have another one to show off, so I'd just take that one there to show off. A moon, a star. You want the sunburst. Get on through there. Uh-oh. I was waiting for video signal. Was that my first dropout? Hopefully, maybe that was just on my end. I don't know, that was a little weird. Just looking at everything to make sure. Okay. Yeah, I meant to grab one of my metalwork shirts tonight to put on, but that meant having to mess with the kitty, and I go in there, I want to be able to give her some loving and time, and it's like, I don't have the time to do that tonight right now. But you'll get your loving. But she's enjoying herself up there, but she doesn't like necessarily being stuck in that one room, but trying to keep her from wanting to go outside, so. Scooch on over there, be next to your buddy. Your buddy needs to hold hands with you. Alright, one more here. Then I think I'll go ahead and start adding on some more since there's only 4. But yeah, definitely not at halfway yet, so. I figured though this would probably be about, if we went a full hour and a half on our stream, maybe we could get it done in that time, because it is a little time consuming for such a large ring. I mean, if I was using a smaller ring, you know, like a 4-inch, I'd be using smaller rings here, so it'd still take a good chunk of time anyway. Alright, so yeah, maybe a third-ish, a little more. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and open up a bunch more of these and get these going on. And I need my lid to prop me up here. Always seemed easier to prop it up on one edge so I don't have to constantly keep lifting the ring, main ring. If I can get it through there with opening the right amount. And I just got a mess of rings underneath me. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. Just gonna grab them and go. Till we get a good chunk on there anyway. Quick looks around. I have to bring my drink over again, darn it. New setup, I still don't know where I'm gonna put it if I bring over my drink. The other way, I was kind of easy to where I could just stretch across to get to it. No, I can't do that. Come on, I know you're not there. It's like just enough to get through. Sometimes I end up going short. I normally under open them than over open them. But yeah, hopefully by this next weekend I'll be able to get some video of some of the new things I'm going to do through the laser and show it off and get some more scales going. I want to start adding laser etch scales to the website for sale. I've got a ton of them. I didn't realize I had so many different etch tags and stuff till I was with all this moving around. You know, I found all kinds of stuff that I've gotten through the years that I want to work on, this and that. But now there's two things that I have. What was it? The one was, you see me use my comically large lobster clasp that I have. They're just giant that I would never really use in very few things. Plus, I don't like the material they're made out of. But I use them all the time for different this and that. I had a big old string of them so I could use them when I needed it. And I can't find them. I don't know where it went. Everything's pretty much unboxed and where it's supposed to go. But for some reason, I'm missing those. And what was the other thing I was missing? I was looking for it earlier today. And it's like, you know, I don't use it every day, but it's sitting there. It should be easily available. I'm trying to remember where it was hooked. Where I would have hooked it would have reminded me. I can't remember what it is now, but yeah, I know I'm missing two things through all this after finding everything else. Because I got some heart tags lasered up, some scales lasered up, round tags lasered up. I forgot about all of them. So I'm going to get some more of that going and get some pictures of it and get those loaded up on the website for sale. And if you have any custom laser etch things that you want, just let me know. Always willing to work on a design or a custom something or other. Out here where you get to them easier, and you gotta move out of the way. I keep knocking you over anyway. Slide over. Oh, alright. I'm gonna get the rest of these put on here. Whatever's out, we're gonna work with, then we'll go from there. Then I'll start getting closer, at least to the point of maybe needing to think about counting. Get her finished up. Where we at here? Hour 23 or 8:23, hour 23. We're getting close to our hour of minimum. I think I'm gonna at least get these on here and get them all kind of connected over to each other, and so I don't have any kind of necessarily loose ends. Before we close up, and like I said, I'm going to put this off to the side. Got a nice little spot I have now for working projects. The projects that are in the works, they can have their own little spot where they don't get mixed in with everything else and get lost or misplaced or anything like that. So it's kind of one of the good things I like about after reorganized all this stuff. Make that part easier. Because sometimes I've worked on 6, 7, 8 different projects at once, and I'll start misplacing a part of this or a piece of that, and so we clean that up. There's the cash box for things. I know there are some in there because we do use them. I do have that chunk in the event boxes because we hold up the sign with them. And I used them last time to hold up some of the wall hangings so they could hang over the main poles and dangle further down. So I know I've got some of those in there, but what I had on my table here is gone. I mean, it was only about a chunk of 20 of them. I mean, it was about a foot long of them, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly where, how, what happened to them. I'm very confused on that front because everything's back out of their boxes. nutting out loose. It was something I was actually looking for because I was wanting to use them for a temporary holder on one of the grid walls while I was putting them together. And yeah, I just couldn't find them. Now, I know I've had more, don't get me wrong, I do have more, but those have been out. I just like to use them. They're, not super clean. I don't want to use up all the good, clean, fresh ones. Though, like I said, I'll never probably use them in a project, other than maybe if I was having some type of top and was using bigger rings, I could use them as the closures, like a button style thing, because they're big enough to be that kind of thing. They're usable, just not in what everyday form. I wouldn't have a bracelet big enough to use these things. I've got bracelets that fit through the whole of the lobster glass, but not little ones either. They're fairly big. This is what I found. I did find one. That's all I had, was just this one. The single one. But you can see how big it is. The hole in it's bigger than 3/16. But yeah, I had a whole string of them, not just a single one. Oh, those must be over on his chair. I think he's getting more used to using that chair more often now that I keep blocking my other two chairs. He seems to be going, okay, I guess this has to be my new chair. Ring. Why are you giving me such a problem? I know you're open big enough. Alright. Now I'm going to go through and get some more hooked up here. Let's get out good chunkage to start with, so I know I'm going to need a lot. Don't know how many, but figure once we get closer, then we can count. I like math, but I hate late night math. When my brain's a little not right there, I don't like math. Otherwise, I love math. I always had fun in math. I liked it because it was math. It was, I don't know, fairly easy. I mean, we got into algebra and stuff, and I did fine and all that, though I've never used necessarily algebra since, but nowadays I question what I learned with all you'll see these math problem memes. You're a genius if you can figure this out, and, it's a math problem written out, and I always remember doing it certain ways, and if I do it those ways, I get different answers than what other people say. You got to work math in that pattern, plus minuses and stuff. And I know those patterns too, but I was always told with parentheses, you use those first. If they're not there, then you go in the order that they're there. So, who knows? I'm old. Math was taught differently then. Alright. Let's go ahead. Where we at? Start loading these up. We're at our hour, so we'll get some of these going here. And I'd like to get closer to an hour and a half. I mean, it's always the goal, but it doesn't always happen, which is fine, but things are going well, and There's things I do need to take care of when I get done with the stream, but nothing that I need to cut off the stream so that I can go take care of. A little tighter over here. Yeah, and I've got 2 jars of anodized silver, 2 of my little containers here. They're pretty full, but they're all with 20 gauge in it. And in one bucket, I've got 3 different size rings, and another one, I've got 2 different size rings. And I have to go through them all and sort them all out. I poured the wrong ones into the wrong ones, and didn't realize it till I went to grab someone just the other day, and I was like, oh man, I gotta clean these up. I forgot all about it. Yeah, this other camera's just a little low. I wonder if I was to do this, would that help it? Over to more where I'm working, maybe. That's the camera. Well, I had kind of boogabooed it because I tried moving it as my main face camera, and it didn't work, so I put it back over here, and it was a little off because of everything I was trying to do with it beforehand, so I need to kind of go back through and get it set. This other ring wants to come through and join you. Now, if it works out like any other Monday, I might actually get in about a half an hour on this before the stream, because normally I like to kind of get it set up, make sure everything's out, do a little bit, make sure everything that I need is available. So there might be a slight amount that's not done on the stream. I guess I should say that, because I did do that tonight. I have to stop myself sometimes. I was wanting to continue to do this when I first started on it, because I started on wrapping about 2 hours before the stream, got it done. I worked about a half an hour on it, and then took a break, and then came back and finished up about 15 minutes on it to finish it up. And then I started throwing the rings on to make sure I knew what size I wanted to use. I had more time where I could have done more, and I was like, no, I need to stop. I need to save it for the stream. Maybe I should have, though. That one, boy. You're a stingy 3/16 inch ring right there. Alright. Let's go through these and get them closed up. I do want to thank everybody again that has watched this and joined us at any point in time during all our streams. We're coming up on around 9-10 months now. I'm going to be pulling up a time, and we'll have a kind of a special stream probably at our 1-year anniversary of streaming, and do some giveaways. I keep wanting to do some giveaways. I just need to get more people here for them. So don't forget to get us out there, share us out to people, you know. Even if they just show up for the giveaway nights, it's all good. At least you're still here. But I'd like to get more people involved. And even if it's just stopping by for a little bit, I want to thank everybody when they do that. You know, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. It's all good. Appreciate it all for sure. Might not be the biggest name and chain mailer out there for sure, but, you know, I have fun doing what I do, so I want to kind of share it in a way too. But yeah, I was thinking the other day, it's like, man, I'll be coming up close on a year here shortly after Super Bowls when I started on the Chiefs flag is when I first started streaming. And I think it was the end of March. That's why I need to go back and find out for sure. What date was it? What was that first stream day? No, I do think the first one everyone didn't really do any chainmail, but it was still the first stream. I think I was having problems with all the cameras at the time, so it was really cruddy. I'm glad that that's gotten better. At least I hope it has. Feels like it's gotten better. Nice beard there, fella. Sorry I missed that, Tim. Yeah, I've been growing out the beard since, I guess it was August. I think I shaved the 1st of August, and that was the last time I shaved. Might have been in, no, it had to be in August, I believe. Yeah. That first week of August, some point in time, I shaved, and I've been free range beard growing since. I do a minor amount of trimming, but I'll just kind of let it do its thing. Figure at some point maybe I can make a design in it or something. They'll eventually probably get into some type of, not necessarily a ponytail, but tied up into, you know, to keep it a little more ruly. Because it's definitely, the longer it gets, the weirder it has gotten. For sure. Especially sleeping. Things that'll be in places that I'm normally not used to feeling in places. Sorry I missed your comment there, Tim. Got so involved in this. I think you're gone already. Let's see where we're at here. And what's that little weird bleeping noisy? Okay, that must be some type of thing you let me know about YouTube. Somebody's going crazy over on YouTube. It looks like some links though. I'm gonna have to go clean up. Looks like they're all spammers. Well, that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, if you get more people spamming, it means somehow you're being noticed in a way. Just unfortunately, it has to be them. Get on in there. Well, this will definitely put us past the halfway point on it. Especially once I get a good stretch on it. That's why when I start getting close, I'll start pulling it tighter and tighter and making sure I get all my play out of it before I decide on if I need to change any rings, or sometimes it's doubling up a couple rings at the bottom or top, wherever you end up putting it, will help tighten it up just right, you know. Sometimes you might have to go with one smaller ring. I've had a few before where I used 3/8 around the outside and I got down to 1 and I ended up having to use a 5/16 just because there wasn't as too loose to have the big one. And couldn't really go any smaller. Another one I added in just one extra jump ring, or if you want to call it a jump ring, just a connector ring. Just added one into the group there, and it seemed to give it just the right tightness. It's always the playing part. When you're doing something like this, you're just not sure until you get to it. And it's tight, it'll hold itself up and not want to flop down. It'll stay more up. Then it's a matter of getting each ring. You're kind of manipulating each one as you pull it down. You see, I'm already getting a ton of overlap. I'm just fixing half of this side. Because I got to move all these down a little bit too. Because I'm running out of room for them. So where are we at here? We're at 8:40, so we're hour 10 minutes in. Doing good. Doing good. I'm happy with the progress so far. I knew I've done these enough to know, and being that I'm actually going with a larger size outside ring here, 14 inches, I knew it was going to be a little bit longer. I've done a bunch of this size round anyway when it comes to doing the shades. A lot of my shades have been 14-inch around top rings, which means I needed 14-inch bottom rings to go with it, so that's what I'm used to seeing. And I still got a bunch of actual shades that I collect any kind of, whenever I see a broken shade anywhere, I'll go grab it because I pull all that stuff on there and I got a nice, perfectly good ring, clean it up. They work out excellent. 3 rings. If you want to do any type of big wall hanging, look for any broken shades on the side of the road. You can get the lamp too if you want, but I normally, those might have electrical problems. Sometimes I'll give it if it looks cool and I want to rewire it. That's one thing, but shades, I'll take the shades. I can clean those up and use those rings for anything. Repurpose those little puppies. I've actually destroyed a few new ones. The first shade that I made with the scales, the plastic life scales I made for the wife, it came with a shade, and ended up destroying it for the rings at the time because I wasn't thinking about just finding rings. Now I know where I can buy them too if I want to buy new shade rings that are just rings without shades on them yet. But yeah, it was kind of weird to destroy a new one, but somebody gets a hole poked in one, they just throw it out there, and there's minimum 2 good rings per thing. Sometimes it might be harder to get some of the centers out where it actually mounts to the light source itself to be a shade. But most time, you can get that center part out fairly easily. 2 big old good rings. Clean them up. Sometimes they're good enough, just cleaned up, and give them a quick sanding and all that. Other times, you can use them and just put a wrap on them. Clean them up really good anyway. But if they're like a carbon steel or something, something that you don't really want to, might rust or something like that, you just put a wrap on them. I've used different types of wraps before, so whatever you wanted to wrap it with. I want to get a bunch of different sized, because I normally use a double-sided tape on it that I can run around the whole thing, and it wraps around, and then I start doing my wrap around it and pulling off as I go to keep the stickiness there. That one I didn't get connected. I was like, boy, that's moving awful far, awful quick. I missed putting you on there. So, that's definitely more than halfway, probably about 2/3-ish. Especially by the time, if I give it a good stretch out, I'll gain another, probably inch over to here somewhere probably. That's normally what happens whenever I do these kind of things and get them all laid right, because I've already got an overlap here, and that'll pull out. I'll probably come out to more here, and this side would probably come out more to over here. So it's getting there. It's getting there. But I think we're going to go ahead and close it up for the night. Let me. No, we never did go to that camera review tonight, did we? No. Oh well. It's all good. But I do want to thank everybody that joins us anytime. If you're watching this live, you watch us later, it's all great to have y'all. If you drop by just for a little bit, say hey, it's all good too. Glad to have everybody that's drop in, say hey, you know. It's all good. Let's see, tonight is Monday night, so we will be back on Wednesday night. I still don't know what I'm going to do for a small project yet, but we'll figure out something. I need to go through my earrings, actually, and see what styles I need to get made up in my earrings. Still got a little while for our next event, but we might have one coming up here in March, so we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I hope you all have a great start to your week. Have a good Monday night and a good Tuesday, and we'll be back here on Wednesday and check y'all out on Wednesday. So, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you then. Peace.